Okay, I've heard some pretty Orwellian language coming out of the Trump White House and the Trump cabinet recently. Marco Rubio, who is the Secretary of State and a whole bunch of other titles, because Donald Trump can't seem to find anybody that's qualified to do anything else. So he's got Marco Rubio doing all these things. He has come up with this new name called the Office of Remigration. Anyway, got this article here in The Guardian. I want to read a little bit to you. Oh, shit, that's the wrong one here. State Department ramps up Trump anti-immigration agenda with new remigration office. Is the most Orwellian thing that you've ever heard of? We're remigrating them, meaning we're grabbing them up off the street and shipping them out of the country no matter what. We got to get those criminals out. Make sure we get those criminals out. Anyway, let's see what the article has to say. State Department is seeking to create an Office of Remigration as part of a restructuring of the U.S. diplomatic service to facilitate Donald Trump's right-wing anti-immigrant policy. The plan would in effect repurpose the Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration, which sought to manage and facilitate the flow of the people into the U.S. under previous administrations, into a bureau meant to help deport immigrants from the country. So literally taking a bureau that was doing one thing and then flipping it on its ear and making it do exactly the opposite. A congressional notification from the State Department obtained by The Guardian said the office would be involved in repatriation tracking, would actively facilitate the voluntary return of migrants. Does it sound like it's voluntary when you're grabbing them and handcuffing them and sending them out of the country? Yeah, that sounds voluntary. And would work with the Department of Homeland Security and other law enforcement to advance the president's immigration agenda, the Gestapo. Reflecting core administration priorities, these offices will be substantially reorganized to shift focus towards supporting the administration's efforts to return illegal aliens to their country of origin or legal status. The overhaul is part of a broader restructuring of the State Department under its Secretary Marco Rubio to create a more agile department better equipped to promote America's interest and keep America safe across the world. Under the plan, which was submitted to Congress this week, the State Department would eliminate or consolidate more than 300 offices, bureaus, leading to the firing or reducing in force of more than 3,400 employees. So not only are we kicking a shitload of people out of the country, now we're getting rid of a whole bunch of employment. That's great. The firings would not target members of consular air affairs or law enforcement or other key, of course not. We can't get rid of the law enforcement part. The administration this week ordered U.S. embassies to stop scheduling appointments for student visas in connection with plans to expand social media vetting of applications. Listen to that. We're not going to be giving any more student visas until we start looking through their social media, doing a little, making sure that you aren't doing any thought crimes. We can't have you coming into our country, wiping your dirty feet all over our carpet. The Supreme Court on Friday allowed Trump to revoke the legal status of more than 500,000 people from countries including Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. But of course, not Afrikaners from South Africa. Got to make sure that there's a certain kind of people that we're happy to bring into the country. A bunch of fucking hogs from South Africa. But, these brown people who came to the country probably due to a lot of crazy ass shit going on in their own country, looking for asylum, having legitimate cause to escape from places like Cuba, like Haiti, like Nicaragua, who, by the way, are probably affected considerably by our foreign policy. But okay, I'm fine. Let's see here. The charge against migration has been led by Stephen Miller, our favorite fascist. Jesus, these fucking Goebbels. The combative aide to the president, who's pretty much running the White House, by the way, who has railed against programs that allow migrants and refugees into the country. Remigration has become a buzzword for the global far right, with European nationalist movements like the ADF, the Nazi adjacent party in Germany. They just don't call themselves Nazis. The Alternatives for Deutschland. Brushing off allegations of racism to promote flashy ad campaigns depicting mass deportation of migrants. So, yeah, man, if you're going to copy another country's foreign policy, make sure it's the most fascist one that you can find. You know, Donald Trump embraced the term back in September, saying he would immediately end the migrant invasion of America. Yeah, man, I feel totally invaded. Our country is about the same size as China. China's got about 1.3 billion people. The United States has about 350,000 people. We got the space. Have you ever driven through Texas? There's a lot of wide open space, but no, we don't have room for migrants. Sure, man, sure. And referring to his presidential rivals in the last year, return Kamala's illegal migrants to their home country, known as remigration. It goes on. It is very Orwellian. It's very disturbing. And Marco Rubio, who, by the way, his parents came here as migrants, escaping Cuba. And by the way, don't let them tell you they were escaping Castro, because they came here in 1958. That was under Batista. So obviously the Batista government was the one that was oppressing his family, and that's why they came to the country. They came here as seeking refugee status. I don't know what their legal status when they came here. We were a little bit more genteel with migrants back in the day. You know, a lot different than we are today. And Marco Rubio is acting, as, the head of the Gestapo for Donald Trump, and his parents are immigrants. I mean, it's like Fox News. Anytime they want to bash black people, they bring on a black host. Anytime that they want to bash women, they bring a woman on. Anytime they want to bash immigrants, they bring on Marco Rubio. It's the same shit over and over and over again. It's disgusting. ICE is no different. So got this kind of sad, heartbreaking video here. Check this one out.
We captured the moment two men went from migrants to detainees. It happened last week at Dallas Immigration Court when nearly a dozen people showed up to have their asylum cases heard. Their cases were dismissed by the judge, and when they walked out of the courtroom, plainclothes federal agents were waiting to take them into custody. Immigration attorney Belinda Arroyo says targeting migrants at the courthouse used to be a rare event.
What does it do when an ICE agent is in the court and they're not dealing with somebody who's currently in ICE custody?
Well, I think it makes everybody be on edge.
It's not just happening in Dallas. Asylum seekers in San Antonio were seen crying and begging for help as they were led away in handcuffs. Two Department of Homeland Security officials tell CBS News ICE is asking immigration judges across the country to dismiss the court cases of certain migrants so the agency can arrest them once their hearings end and place them in a fast-track deportation process known as expedited removal. Outside a Miami courthouse, this migrant in cuffs says in Spanish, it's a trap. The Department of Homeland Security released this statement to CBS News, saying Secretary Noem is reversing Biden's catch-and-release policy that allowed millions of unvetted illegal aliens to be let loose on American streets. On President Trump's first day in office, he reversed a 2011 policy that limited ICE arrests at sensitive locations like schools, churches, and courthouses. Arroyo says this new policy is part of the administration's crackdown.
We literally have to tell people, like, no, it's okay. You know, we're going to be there with you. Nothing's going to happen.
But can you guarantee that?
But I honestly can't say that now, right? Like, I can't say that the way that we are seeing this administration move is that the reality is I don't know from day to day where we're going to be at.
One of the men that we saw who was detained was a Venezuelan man.
I don't know if you're able to hear some of that commentary on the other end. I'm having a little bit of an issue hearing it, but you get the gist of it. They're handcuffing children. They're snatching people up off the street. It is absolutely plenty disturbing. Here's another video for you. They're kind of the same type of thing. It's absolutely disturbing. We're looking at a whole shitload of militarized police force. The military is now come back to America, and now we're policing our own citizenry. Let's see if you can hear this one a little bit better. Apologies if you can't.
With sweeping raids across the state of Florida. Just as the Supreme Court gives the president a major victory today, revoking the legal status for migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. That means that even as the original ruling is appealed, the Trump administration can deport more than 500,000 people currently in the U.S. from those four countries, even though many arrived legally under a Biden-era program.
It's very important that we're able to get those people out of here fast, bring them back to their country where they belong.
That speed picking up in recent days here in the Sunshine State.
Construction workers were working on this building behind me when law enforcement came from all directions, descending on them, rounding them up in the hundreds.
This construction site
I want you to hear what they're saying here. These are people actually working at a job site. Are we talking about, people that are slinging fentanyl, rapists and murderers? Are we talking about poor construction workers here? I mean, seriously. I thought they were getting at the criminals, man. Does this look like gathering up criminals, or does this look like just mass fascism?
Tallahassee, now the site of one of the largest immigration raids in state history. Workers seen on video Thursday pouring out of the building near FSU campus where they're constructing student housing, still wearing their construction vests, their hands tied.
Seems like yesterday, in some ways, was kind of unprecedented here.
For sure. It's one of the biggest raids we've ever seen, and it involved several state agencies plus ICE. We are hearing that about 200 people showed up for work. More than 100 of them were detained.
Tallahassee immigration attorney Elizabeth Ritchie says she's getting calls by the dozens.
I'm concerned about due process violations. We've been seeing those, unfortunately, more and more recently.
Yeah, me
I want
too.
to make sure that everyone's rights are protected.
And now detainments are being reported at courthouses as migrants show up to their immigration hearings. This video from Thursday showing a family with 4 children detained outside of this.
See those children, man? They're criminals. It's the criminal element, man. They got fentanyl on them. They're just evil, horrible people looking to take what's yours, America. These people just don't seem to understand. They can't be inflicting their evil, horrible monster children on us.
Antonio Immigration Courthouse. With workplace raids also on the rise, like the Tallahassee one Governor DeSantis touts as a major bus success. The recent raids across the country are also raising outcry.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
I'm not really a fan of Dan Goldman, but he's not wrong about this.
Where plainclothes officers wearing masks are terrorizing immigrants who are doing the right thing by going to court, following up on their immigration proceedings, and trying to come into this country lawfully.
President Trump's administration pushed ICE with a quota of 1,800 arrests per day in the days after his inauguration. According to data obtained by NBC News, ICE deported over 17,000 people last month. That's up more than 50% from deportations in February. But border czar Tom Homan says it's not enough.
Looking like
I'm not
Shrek.
satisfied. I haven't been satisfied all year long because what I just said, we got 600,000 criminals walking the streets of this country we need to get. 600,000
criminals. Fuck you, man. 600,000 criminals. He is pulling that number directly out of his Shrek ass. This fucking ogre. This meathead here.
Yeah, we increase the number of teams. We're going to have over 1,000 teams on the street. We're putting more targeting in this. We got to increase these arrests and removals.
All right, Marissa, let's pick it up right there. I know you're at.
Excuse me. This is getting out of hand. And it shows no signs of stopping. We as a collective, as a people, need to be standing up and fighting against this stuff. Because it's obvious that our leadership is choosing not to. They had, this is going on all across the country. That was in Florida. Recently, they arrested a grandma in Worcester, Massachusetts. A couple days ago, they're in San Diego. And I saw some people out there, actually common everyday citizens, standing up against this stuff. Give these people credit. Look at them fascists. Got nothing but love for those people out there. They're fighting the good fight. You have privilege as an American citizen, especially if you're a white American citizen. You have privilege. And as of right now, those evil bastards are not coming after you. So while you still have power, use it. This guy right here, this guy's a goat.
The traffic laws would go for these guys as well. You can't drive down South Road or North Road. Do you know which road is South Road? Do you know which road North Road is? No, because you're not from here. You're in any event, the speed limit is not 15 miles an hour the whole way. It's not 20 miles an hour. It's 40 miles an hour. All right? So try to keep that in mind and obey the laws that we have here as I do.
Okay. Wait.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm enraged at your mask wearing ass.
Okay.
That's why I'm shaking.
So, sir, I'll have a conversation with you. You talk. Let me have a conversation. So that's fine. You know, do what you got to do, record, all that stuff. But here's your official warning, okay? We have the FBI with us. If you impede in any way, shape, or form, you are going to be arrested and taken into federal custody.
Thank you. Okay. Here's your official warning. If you trespass against my rights, I will not comply with you. I will not resist with you. Okay. I will take offensive with you. Okay. That's your warning. Okay. I know what my rights are, and if you break them, be forewarned that I will do what I need to do to protect myself. Okay? Okay? Good. Why do you wear the mask? Why can't you answer that question? Huh? I mean, I don't understand why you don't answer the question.
These guys are absolute bitches. They got their guns. They got their little toys. I remember years ago we were talking about, you know, allowing military equipment to be brought back into the country and used by police officials. This is the result. This is what you get. This kind of thing. And that is a very good question. Why are they masked up? Are they afraid that somebody's going to recognize them, and then when they see them on the street or in a grocery store in their local neighborhood and they call them a fucking fascist Oh, is it going to hurt their little fifis? Oh, they're going to have little feelings? Oh my God, somebody called me a bad name. Well, maybe don't take this fucking job. Maybe find another fucking job. You absolute psychopath. God damn it, man. I am absolutely disgusted with what we're doing. If you're not disgusted with this, maybe you got some issues of your own. Do you think that we're going to remove all of these migrants, all of these people working in the country, all these people that came here the right way, who are meeting their court dates and getting arrested by DHS or ICE, being assisted by local police departments, by the FBI? You think that those people, once they're out of the country, then everything is going to be gravy and you're going to have great jobs that are going to be paying you tons of money? No, honey. They're going to want you to do the same work they did for the pay that they were doing. You think that any of these employers who are hiring migrant workers or immigrant workers, you think that they're doing that because they care about immigrants? No, man, they're doing that because they know that they can pay them a dirt cheap wage. It's got absolutely nothing to do with cutting out American workers. They are hiring those people because they know that they can exploit them. Which is when Donald Trump, with the H-1B visa thing with him and Musk at the beginning of the term, they were all about bringing those immigrants in because they could exploit them. It's the same thing here. You're screaming and yelling, oh, they're taking up all of the housing. Are you kidding me? You think your rent is high because of immigrants moved into a couple of houses in your neighborhood? Rent is high because your landlord is a greedy son of a bitch. It's what the market will bear. Kicking these people out of the country is not going to provide you a better lifestyle. It's not going to give you the things that you think you want. I don't know what to say anymore about this stuff. You know, I've got to continue to talk about it because obviously, you know, Chuck Schumer's too busy on his book tour and Hakeem Jeffries can barely get off of his ass to, you know, get out of his own fucking way. But the Republican Party is not sitting around on their laurels. You think Stephen Miller, that psychopath, is sitting around not devising a new way to screw over some immigrants? You think he's not thinking about what comes next after he gets rid of the immigrants? You think he's not going to come after the leftists, the subversives, the communists? And we're talking about Stephen Miller here, who would consider Barack Obama a communist. He would consider Joe Biden, Kamala Harris a communist. Man, we're fucking cooked, dog. We are absolutely cooked. I mean, if it wasn't for, you know, Tim Walz, Bernie Sanders, AOC, you know, Jasmine Crockett, you know, I'd probably cry myself to sleep every night. Oh, I know, liberal tears. But man, when they are done with us, who do you think they're going to come after next? Once they get rid of us, who is standing in the way, they're going to come after you too. Mr. Conservative man and out in the Midwest thinking that none of this affects him. They're going to come after you too. They're going to take your health care. They're going to take your Social Security. They're going to take every social benefit that you have. And the jobs that are going to be created once all of these immigrants are out of the country be manual labor jobs. So instead of Consuela cleaning the bathroom at the local hotel, it's going to be you cleaning the bathroom at that local hotel. And you're going to be getting paid minimum fucking wage. Yeah, but they're going to better society, man. They're going to get these people out, and it's going to be America for Americans. Sure, man. Sure. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.